It's so overwhelming. I'm so overwhelmed. Hey guys, it's Diane Hochman from DianeHochman.com, and that's what I hear from people all the time. They start a home business, and, of course they want to, most everybody I talk to, they want to learn the advanced stuff right up front. They don't want to do the basics. They just kind of want to do the stuff that experienced people are doing. They kind of want to skip some of the stuff that we all went through. And of course, when they dive into the deep end of the pool, they feel like they're drowning. They feel overwhelmed. It's part of the game. But I want to talk to you today about how to stop that feeling of overwhelm. Okay. What I like to focus on, okay, you might want to write this term down. Hopefully every time you're listening to me, you got a notebook and you're writing some notes. I like to focus on the common denominators, okay? The common denominators. What does that mean? Remember when you were in elementary school and you learned about fractions, and you'd have 1/2 and 1/4, and you'd have to learn how to add them together, and you had to change the bottom number so the bottom number was the same? That was the denominator. That bottom number of the fraction was the denominator, the thing that's the same about everything. And when I studied marketing, now, granted, I started before we had all this fancy-dancy stuff, but I did go from basic network marketing and learning how to make a presentation and learn how to, run a few little ads and things, into direct response and mail order. I got into all of that before the internet was really prevalent. So as I went through each genre, so to speak, of marketing, I kept looking for what was the same about all of them. And then instead of getting confused, because if you were doing traditional MLM, you would go out and talk to people. If you were doing direct response, you'd run ads and then they'd call or they'd come in. There was all different things. Now there's Facebook and there's Twitter and there's blogging and there's nerve centers and there's this and there's that. But if you look at everything, if you step back and you kind of lift yourself up and do what Eben Pagan, you guys can look up Eben Pagan, he's been one of my teachers. If you do what he calls getting altitude, right? You lift yourself up out of the woods and you look down, you can see a pattern. You can see what's the same about all of the things that you're looking at and all the different marketing options. And what it comes down to, if you are building any kind of organization, you're trying to recruit people, and or you are doing affiliate marketing and you're trying to sell stuff to people, what you're looking to do every single day, how you do it, you're going to have to figure out. And there's so many options. But if you understand the common denominator, the big picture, then you can pick your choices on how to do it. Your job is to get more information in front of more people every day. Okay, if you were doing it locally, it might be handing out flyers. If you were doing it with newspaper advertising, it would be running ads. If you're doing it online, it could be blog posts, it could be videos, it could be audios, it could be Facebook ads. Okay, a million ways to do it. But it's more information in front of more people every day, and there's only 4 steps to your business. You collect the people or get them to notice you. Okay, it could be saying hello to them and talking to them. It could be running an ad. Doesn't matter. But you collect them and get them to notice you. You collect them and get them to notice you. You capture their identity, their name and number, their name and email. You capture them. Again, you do this offline, online, doesn't matter. You communicate with them, give them information, and then you close them. That's when the credit card actually comes out. So here's what you're doing. Here's the whole process. Write this down. It's super simple. Your job is to get more information in front of more people so you can collect them, capture their identity, communicate with them, and close them. Okay? So how do you stop the feeling of overwhelm? 1, you understand what your job is. I just told you what your job is. And then 2, you settle down and you focus in on picking just a couple of methods that you're going to use to do this. See, everybody picks a method, they get all jazzed up, they do it for a week, It doesn't work because of course it doesn't work in a week. You haven't mastered it. And then they see something else shiny and they go buy something else or run after someone else or they go to another training and they keep changing their focus. So what happens is they feel like they stuck their head in a blender and they're overwhelmed. See, I never let that happen. Actually, it's not true. In the beginning I did, but I settled down because I understood my outcome, what I needed to accomplish. And then all I did was I picked the things that I was good at to do that with. So, for example, I'm good at speaking. Okay, I've always had a big mouth since I was a kid. So I used audio and video to to get more information in front of more people so I could collect, capture, communicate, and close them. And some people are terrible at talking. So they use articles or they use ads. There's all different methods. I'm terrible at writing and typing. I can write a piece, a decent piece. It's not that I'm illiterate and can't write, but I type so poorly, it takes me probably 5 times the amount of time to write something than it does to speak something. So I picked the things that I was good at, and I focused in and executed it, as opposed to believing that there was something better all the time and continually changing. You can't master something if you change. And if you're constantly changing, you're never doing your job, which is to get more information in front of more people so you can collect them, capture their information, their identity, communicate with them, and close them. Now, what's cool is if you understand this basis, you can get better and better and better at doing it. For example, communication. You can become a better speaker. You can become a better writer. I've become a great copywriter over the years. Who knew? For sales letters and emails. Who knew I'd become a great copywriter? I have. But in the beginning, my communication was super simple. Okay? I used to capture people with a voicemail. Now I capture people with opt-in forms. Doesn't matter. I still capture them. I used to collect people by putting out little homemade flyers. Now I collect people by putting out, webinars and full-length audios and videos, and it's higher tech now. Same process. Same common denominator. Same simple concept. Always begin, as Stephen Covey, the author, personal development author, taught us, always begin with the end in mind and always get altitude so that you can see where you're going. If you can see where you're going, it's a lot easier to pick your vehicle to get there. So I'm hoping this helped. If you have questions, definitely leave me a comment here on the blog. But if you happen to be seeing this on YouTube, you certainly could leave a comment here, or go ahead, or any other site, because these get put all over. Go ahead over to DianeHochman.com. It's DianeHochman.com. Put in your name and email. See, I'm collecting you and capturing you. Put in your name and email. Let me send you out some great stuff, lots of training, and we'll help you get there. So don't get overwhelmed. Get focused. See the big picture, and it'll help you a lot.